Hi babes, hi Valerie, how are you? Hello everybody. I am getting a wee bit of a late start, so I am just kind of grabbing all the remainder of the items I need here for tonight's live. Hi Sarah, hi Debbie. How is everybody doing? Hoping we get a lot of ladies on tonight so I can do a nice little giveaway. I know everybody loves a giveaway. So I am just pulling up the live on my computer really fast just so I can read all of you guys' comments. Hi Felicia, hi Rachel, hi Christy. Yep, for ladies that are new, my name is Tiffany. You guys have just me this evening. Oh my gosh, and my computer is frozen. What a pain. What a pain. Let me fix this camera. It keeps sliding. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Okay, so the computer is loaded up. Let's go ahead and go over to the live. So did you guys see my post earlier? My nails were 3 weeks old. They looked amazing still, but that growth, oh my gosh, it had to go. So I'm so happy it's my turn for live tonight because I just really needed a fresh pedicure. So if we can get up to 600 babes tonight, and we can get there if you guys invite and share with your friends, I'm going to give away an ICU Peppi color, which looks like this. And tonight I'm going to show you guys how to do the opal milk bath nail. So generally with a milk bath nail, you're going to do it, you know, white and milky, but I am switching it up because why not, right? We don't have to do it exactly what I saw on Pinterest. Sorry, my camera is being really weird tonight. Just trying to fix this for you guys, sorry. Alright, don't mind all that shaking. So this was my first attempt on the swatch stick at the opal milk bath, and it was not a very good attempt, but I know what I did wrong and I fixed that over here. So I'm going to show you guys tonight my version of an opal nail. It's not really a milk bath. I kind of took a little bit of a different avenue, but you're going to do something very similar if you are doing milk bath nails. So just bear with me here. Trying to fix this camera because it is driving me crazy. So if we get up to 600 babes tonight, I am going to give away an ICU because it is definitely the perfect summer blue. It is this bright blue. It's not like overly bright, but it is a nice poppy blue that you see. And then my accent finger is saltwater taffy, I think, off the top of my head, which if you want to recreate a similar look, you can do it with Girl Yes or Pontoon Party if you have that color, or you can do it with Stone Cold, whatever you desire. But I really liked the look of saltwater taffy, and honestly ladies, now that I'm thinking about it, I kind of wish I did the opal like in the darker blue over here. I think it would have been just like, I think I would have liked a more opal-y look instead of like the milky bath look. But I really do love this. Like, it came out really great. It's really, really pretty. So I'm going to show you guys how I did it, but I am going to start with prep. I get so many questions on prep, or like, why do my nails lift, or, you know, whatever the scenario may be on why your nails might not be lasting for 2 to 3 weeks. And I am going to show you what I do so you guys can have the same results. So we are going to work on my left hand this evening. Oops, sorry. We're going to work on my left hand this evening. I have already filed and shaped them. One thing I will tell you guys, I never cut my nails. I only file them down. I find that when I file my nails, I can get my shape very clean, exactly where I want it, versus when I cut it uneven, then they end up being shorter than I anticipated, and then I like try to overcorrect it when I file them, and it doesn't work for me. So maybe you might want to try this method and just only file the nails down. If you're taking a lot of length off of your nails like I did today, you will find that it takes a little bit longer, but in my opinion, it is truly worth it. It really is. So the next step after I'm going to tell you exactly from start to finish. So what I do is I remove my Peppi cure, and to remove my Peppi cure, I just use the Onyx Professional Remover for 100% pure acetone. You can find a lot of different acetones on the market. Not all of them are pure, and not all of them work as equally as the one next to it. So something you might buy from Walgreens may not work, and I've experienced that before. So if you're wondering why your nails are just taking too long to remove, take a look at what brand of acetone you're using. Onyx is a really great reputable brand, and just make sure it's 100% pure acetone. They do have a blue bottle one that has coconut oil in it, and that one works really well too. I find that it might take a minute or two longer, but it is a really nice remover, and it doesn't leave your hands quite as dry. So after I remove my nails, I then go to the sink and I wash my hands with Dawn dish soap, and I take a really stiff brush like this. It's nice and stiff, and I take that Dawn soap and I scrub all of my nails, and I scrub up underneath of them, all over, so I can ensure like the oil is being removed off my nails, and also they're nice and sanitized before I start dipping into the jars. So it's really important. I know a lot of people like to share powders and whatnot, but just be very careful, because if somebody's not sanitizing, or if they're dipping with an open wound on their finger into the jar, like it's just not very clean. So just make sure you're doing your clean thing here. And then also I rub this brush up on my skin all over, because sometimes when you do work with acetone, it leaves like a little bit of a residue, and this really stiff brush just takes all of that off. So just water, a nice stiff brush, and just plain old original blue Dawn soap. After I do that, I of course dry my hands with paper towels. I'll go down to my nail desk, and then I will file and shape my nails. I just use a regular file. I would generally use the Peppi ones, which I love the best. I don't have them with me, so I just use a regular file for the moment, and it works great. And I just, keep it nice and straight, and then I go nice and straight like this. And one thing I have found is when I am working on shaping my nails, if I have a contrasting background to my nail, it helps me see the nail shape better, so I get a nice clean line. So I like a square, maybe like a skinny square, not quite coffin, but maybe headed in that direction a little bit, but look. So I just make sure to keep my file nice and straight and just glide it back and forth. And as you guys can see, my cuticles for the most part are pretty clean. I don't do anything to them during the 3 weeks that I had my Peppi on. The only thing I do is put Vaseline on every single day, a couple times a day. I don't do anything else. And if you do something like that, and once you get into the routine, you're gonna find that you're not gonna have to mess around too much with the cuticles. So what I do want to show you is the order of prep really does matter. So let me just recap. I remove, I wash, I dry, and then I file and shape. After I file and shape, that gives me plenty of time to kind of let my nails dry up, because they are porous, they hold moisture. So you want to make sure before you start your Peppi cure that your nails are going to be super dry. You're going to want to wait a good, 15 minutes at least, because if you don't, that is a #1 cause of lifting that nobody really knows about. So you have to be really careful with that. Okay, so after I file and shape my nails, I then take my cuticle pusher, which you can get off the website, or you can use whatever one you already have. And then I just go ahead and I start pushing back all of my cuticles. So I'm gonna get as close as I can, but you can see, like, for the most part, they're pretty clean, but there's a little residual cuticle right there. If you see that left on your nail and you apply Peppi over it, you're guaranteed to have lifting. So it's really important that you scrape all of that off. So what I like to do is I like to just start by pushing back the cuticles and then coming back and getting that growth off the nail after the fact. So I'm gonna go ahead, push them all back so you guys can see. And by the way, ladies, I am by myself tonight, and I probably do talk a lot when I'm going over applications, so forgive me if I don't see comments, but I will do my best to look over there and read them. So I am pushing back all of my cuticles. So what I like to do, if I'm going for long wear, and I don't recommend this all the time, if you're only gonna wear your Peppi for a week, this next step probably isn't gonna be a huge deal for you. But if you're keeping your Peppi cure on for a solid 2 to 3 weeks or even longer, you're gonna wanna make sure that residual cuticle is truly off of your nail. If you don't do that, you will have lifting. So what I like to do is I like to take this little drill bit right here, and I go very lightly. I have my drill bit at a really low speed, and I go really lightly, and I clean up. See all that coming off right there? I clean all that off. It's very important that you get all of that off. If you don't, again, you're gonna have lifting. So these are the secrets to no lifting right here. I don't use anything, any kind of aid, like a dehydrator or a bond. Like it's not needed. Like, I understand some people really do have like oily nails, and maybe it's like a weird exception, but in all honesty, like, I've been doing this for a really long time, and I do have oily nails, and I never use an aid because I just take the time to get in there and prep. But do you guys see like that little bit of debris that's coming out? But look how clean that is. That's exactly how clean you want your cuticle line for long-term wear. And again, I only do this when I'm planning to wear for 2-3 weeks or even longer, which happens sometimes, very rarely, believe it or not. That's the only time I do this. I don't recommend to do it all the time, because if you're not careful, you'll end up thinning out your nails over time, and I really don't want that to happen. So just remember, keep the drill at a very low speed and go very gentle on your nail. Very gentle, and you can see like that is what your cuticle line should look like for long-term wear to prevent lifting. They should look just like this. And you guys can see, like, I've been wearing Peppi for a solid 4 years, a little bit longer, and there's no damage to my nails. Like, my nails are very nice. I have a little bit of wear and tear right here because I am rough on my nails and I tend to like hit them on things, but that's no fault to the product. It's a fault to me being reckless. But as you guys can see, like, my nail health is very healthy. And if you do your prep the right way, yours will be too, because if you overbuff, they will thin out over time, and we don't want that to happen. So the very next step I take is I take a very used up buffer, and I just go very lightly over the nail. And what that just did was just remove the shine. So now there's texture for the nail to grab onto the powder and hold it there. If your nails are too slick, it's not gonna hold. And I just did this 3 weeks ago, ladies. I just buffed my nails and did the drill thing 3 weeks ago because I knew I was gonna have long wear this time. And you guys can see, like, my nails look fabulous. Like, they really look great. So now they're nice and dry. You want your nails to look dry and just ready to hold on to that powder. Now, if you have really oily nails, before you buff, you can swipe your nails with acetone and then buff, but don't do it the other way around. You want to make sure you do the acetone first and then buff your nails. So then after I'm done with all of this, I just go in one more time and make sure all my cuticles are pushed back, because they do start moving forward. So you just want to make sure they're nice and pushed back right before you start your application. And that's it. This is what prepped nails look like. Nice and clean, and nice and dry, and ready to hold on to the powder. Thank you. So I'm going to get into the colors right now. I know it took me a little while to go over prep, but I feel like we often start these lives and we don't focus on that very, very much. So I just kind of wanted to do it because it's definitely been, I don't know, a month or two since I've really focused on that. So it's very important. The order of your prep 100% matters. It matters when it comes to keeping your nails on for an extended period of time. Yeah, Cheryl, this cuticle pusher is truly amazing, and it's thin enough here. It's hard to see. It's thin enough right up here that it really does the job in getting that residual cuticle off the nail bed. Hi, Elizabeth. How are you? Yeah, I'm so glad we did nail prep. So now I am going to go ahead and get my Peppi started. So I'm going to be using the colors ICU, which is this beautiful blue. I'm going to be using saltwater taffy to create my opal nail, borderline milk bath nail, opal. You know, I didn't want to copy exactly, but it works. And then I'm going to be using clear. Oh no, I got something in it. All right. And then I'm going to be using clear. Clear is very important. So if you guys are new to Peppi and you're like, why does everybody need clear? So clear is, first let me clarify, clear is not required. You can definitely do all of your Peppi cures without it. What clear is really nice for is extra strength, extra shine, and encapsulating very thick glitters or nail art, which would be foil and mylar flakes in this case. So it's very important if you're into those types of nails, or if you need the extra strength or the extra shine, then I highly recommend to grab yourself a clear. I can tell you, like, I go through so much clear, it's not even funny. Most of the times I do a fourth dip and put clear on top, but I'm not doing that this evening, just feeling a little bit lazy. But definitely something to keep in mind depending how active you are or what kind of nails you want and so on. So the next thing I'm going to do before I start my Peppi cure is I'm going to stir and loosen up the powder. The looser your powder is, the flatter and smoother it's going to lay on your nail when you dip. So let's go ahead and get started. So if we hit that 600, you guys, I'm gonna give away an ICU. I feel like I'm saying like the hospital terms, ICU, but it's not. It's like you guys know. See, like the waves. Okay. So as I'm getting started, I want you guys to know with my number 1, I am pulling my brush out at an angle, and what that is doing is taking all the excess liquid off of my brush with that wiper that you see deep down into the bottleneck. It's removing that excess liquid off. So now I'm not only avoiding getting product on the bottle rim, which will glue the bottle shut, but I'm also now going to apply a thin amount of liquid onto my nail. That's gonna keep my nails looking nice and smooth and pretty in the end result. On the first go round, I'm gonna go about 80 to 90% up the nail. I'm not gonna go all the way. Now you can apply and different methods depending on like if you're trying to create an apex or whatever it is you want to do. I choose to do it this way. It works great. Keeps my nails nice and thin and natural looking. So as you guys can see, like it went on super thin and very flat, and that's contributed to making sure the powder is nice and loose before I dip, as well as not over applying the liquid. If you over apply the liquid, it's going to be lumpy, it's going to absorb more powder, and you're not going to have control. So when you get to that cuticle line, you're going to notice that it's not going to be quite as like smooth or straight lined, straight edged, curved edged that you want. So just wanted to keep you guys posted on what I'm doing with that method. Now on my accent nail, because I'm going to be using some clear and whatnot on here, on this finger I am going to make an exception, and I am actually going to go all the way the first time so I can have a nice even pigment on my nail when I do the nail art tutorial here in a little bit. And I always start in the middle of the nail or a quarter of the way down when I do my Peppi, and I spread out the liquid, and then I come back up and I work on the cuticle line. So now I'm going to go ahead and dip into saltwater taffy. Now this is a previous mystery box color. You cannot get this color, but you can get Girl Yes and Stone Cold, which are very similar colors. So now I'm taking this little orange wood stick and just running it right around the cuticle edge right here to help keep my lines nice and smooth and even. It's just a little orange wood stick. You can pick them up anywhere, but we're actually going to be carrying these very soon, so you can always add it to your next order as well. So now I'm going to go ahead again, making sure I pull that excess liquid off of my brush and go into my third finger here. And I'm going to dip into I See You. And I just dip right at an angle. And voila, you can see. Nice, smooth, even, flat dip. Same over here, smooth, even, flat dip. So I See You is a little bit of a thicker pigmented powder, so every couple dips I do go back in and loosen it up, just so I can make sure it's laying exactly how I want. Oh man, we're at 560. We're getting close to that 600. Come on, babes. I can only give it away if you help me. Alright, so now I'm going to go in and dip right into I See You. Alright, and now I'm going in over here and doing my thumb. So I cannot stress to you ladies like how important nail prep is, because if you are trying to wear your Peppi for 2 to 3 weeks, like you have to do all of those things. But if you're changing it every week, you can get away with skimping on it a little bit. Totally up to you. Alright, so now you guys can see this is my first round of dipping. So now I'm going to go in. I'm using my Peppi duster brush. You guys can get this on the website. If they're not in stock, they will be in stock soon. And I'm going to wipe off all the excess powder. At this point, I am not going to dip anymore on the accent finger. I'm actually going to save it for last. And I'm just going to focus on dipping right now on the I See You blue. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. Yeah, Michelle, this blue is so pretty. I love this color. If you guys don't have it, you got to get it. For reals. Alright, this time we are going to go all the way up and stopping a hairline before the cuticle. So that's really the other trick too, If you apply your product on the cuticle, that's creating a natural gap that's gonna happen as the nails grow out. So it's really super, super important that you stop a hairline before. And that's why this like orange wood stick thing really helps, because it really makes sure, it really helps you to make sure, sorry, that after you dip and you run that stick right across, not only is it going to keep your cuticle line nice and clean, as you can see, but it's also ensuring that you have zero product whatsoever on your cuticle. Holy moly, we hit 600, yeah. I'm gonna give one of these bad boys away. All right, so now I'm gonna go in and work on my middle finger. This finger is a little bit wider, so I have to double dip back into the bottle to have enough liquid, because I pull so much excess liquid off that I don't get enough to cover my full nail on my middle finger and my thumb. So just remember, you can always add more base, but you can't take it away. So start off with a little and add a little bit more if you need to. But the goal is to not have a lot. You get more control over your liquid and where it goes, but it also keeps your nails looking nice and smooth. Look at that, smoothed it. So now I'm gonna go ahead and take that cuticle stick. I'm gonna try to get a close up here and just run it right around the edge. I love it. I love it. This is so perfect so far. Holy moly, we're at 630. Shoot, if we hit 800, I'll give 2 away. All right, ladies, so I'm going into my second dip onto my pointer finger. And I'm only gonna do a total of 3 dips tonight. Normally I will do 4 because I like to add clear on top for that strength and that shine. But today I'm just feeling a little lazy and I don't really want to, so I'm not. Usually if I'm working with chunky glitter, that's when I really, really want to make sure that I have that clear. That's when it's truly the most important. It really is, because you don't want 3 layers of a chunky glitter like Peppi Paradise or Over the Top. Like the glitter just won't lay flat. So it's really a dip of clear or a base color, your glitter, and then a dip of clear, and it's perfect. All right, so now I'm going into my thumb on my second dip. I can't wait to show you guys my opal nail. It's gonna be so cute. And you can do, if you're doing your opal nail, if you want it more milk bathy, you can certainly do that. I just kind of wanted it more like, I don't know, poppy, I guess. Wanted it more stronger looking, so I didn't go quite heavy on the milk bath part of it. But it's gonna look amazing no matter which way you choose to do it. It will look so perfect, I promise. And if you're new to Peppi, just take your time. Really take your time and learn and understand the product, because if you do that, if you do your due diligence and you really learn and understand how the system works, you're gonna have better results in the end than if you just rush through it. So now I'm going ahead and I'm taking my Peppi duster and I'm wiping that excess powder off of my nails. And now I'm gonna go in and do my third and final dip on the darker blue color. And then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna show you very quickly how I do the opal nail. It's gonna be awesome. I'm so sorry, I have not been reading the comments. Yeah, this blue is definitely amazing. Crystal said it took her 2 hours her first time. Girl, it can be really fast, like 30 to 45 minutes. But if you're really like trying to learn it your first time, or if you're just super OCD like myself, it can take you that long. I have a bad habit after I do every nail. I just like critique that nail. I don't know why I do that to myself. All right, so this is my third and final dip on ICU. And then I really want to make sure my cuticle lines are good after the third dip. And I really do use that stick. This stick, if you're new, can really up your game. You just want to make sure, like when you're using it, I'll show you on a finger that's not just dipped. You push on your cuticle and then kind of, you know, go around the edge there. And you can see like it really just cleans that cuticle line up, and it makes sure that nothing is on there. But if I'll pull my skin back, you can see like you just really want to push up on the cuticle so it doesn't mess up the powder that you just applied. So let me guys know if you have any questions. I promise I'm going to try to glance over here at these comments because I really want to see what you guys are saying. I hope so far you guys are finding my tips very helpful. The biggest thing I ever want for Peppi is for everybody to love their product, but I understand it's a learning curve. So that's why I'm here, and why Maggie is here to help teach you. That's my #1 goal with Peppi Gel, is to make sure that you know how to use it and love it. So now I'm on my third and final dip on my pointer. And then we're gonna go ahead and dip right in. So there's a lot of ways that you can dip, but I find this to be the best and most effective way. But everybody's nail shape is like different on the nail bed itself, so some other ways to dip might work better than others. But you're always going to need a minimum of 3 dips. Anything less, your product after you file and buff and shape will not be strong enough to last hardly even a week. So you always want a minimum of 3 dips. I've done as many as 4. I've seen where some people do 5. So it truly just depends. And 4, 5, even 3 may seem like a lot, but as you learn how to apply your liquid, your base, you'll see that it's really not a lot, and you can get a nice thin application. This is 3 dips, and you guys can see it's super thin, and I can do 2 more if I wanted to, and my nails would still look thin and natural. So those are my 3 dips of the dark blue color ICU, which is a part of our newer colors that we released recently. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and dust off all that excess powder. And now we're getting to the fun part. So for my opal nail, I am using this 2-sided foil. I've already cut it up so I can lay it onto my nail because I want a mix of that blue and gold like you see over here to show through on my nail. Then I'm also gonna use some of these mylar flakes, I think is what they're called. Excuse me, I have the hiccups. And I'm gonna lay just a couple pieces on top, so because I still want to see this underneath of these little flaky things. Just a couple pieces to add that little iridescent pop that you guys see right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys exactly how I do that. I believe I just got these off of Amazon. They're very pretty, they're super cheap. Don't ask me for a link because I promise I cannot find it for you. Although I might have posted it in the Facebook group under the units tab. So if you guys are looking for anything that we use in our lives, if you go to the units tab in our Facebook group, Peppi Gel Dip Powder Tips and Tricks, click the units tab, you can see a whole list of like tutorials. You can see a list of recommended products that we use, such as our drill, all that other stuff, the foil, whatever outs that you probably want to know what we do. It's under the units tab, so I highly recommend that you guys check underneath of that. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and get started with the accent nail. I'm going to use these little tweezers to pick up my pieces of foil and lay them down. So what I'm going to do is paint a little bit of base, our number 1 ready, and I'm going to paint it just kind of like diagonal across the nail a little bit. And then I'm just going to lay the flakes down, and they kind of just melt right into the number 1, and they end up laying pretty flat on their own, so it's really a lot of fun. So let me go ahead, I'm going to kind of measure out my nail here and see if I can get it in the same region as my other nail. So just make sure you are doing a thin amount of base, because remember, you don't want it to look or feel uneven. So you want to move like somewhat quick while doing it, because you don't want your number 1 to dry on you. And you don't have to worry about it being even, because you kind of want that opal-y geode look. And you just kind of want to let it melt right in. It just melts right into the number 1. It's so awesome. This is one of those nails that I truly have been wanting to do for like the longest time. It was on my list, and believe it or not, I was like a little bit intimidated by it, so I never really did it. And then I was like, let me just practice on a nail swatch real quick. And I was surprised at like how insanely easy it was. So now I'm just kind of moving it around a little bit, because I don't want my edges to be so straight. My pieces were a little bit too big. So you guys can see, like, this is what it looks like in the beginning. So now I'm going to try to, if I can get away with it without having to add any more number 1, is add in some of those little mylar flakes that I just showed you. And I don't need a lot, because I still want it to show through. I still want the gold and blue foil to show through. Sorry. I guess talking and nail arting is not my strong suit. And I think that looks pretty good. I might want one little tiny piece right here. There we go. I like that. It looks pretty good. So you can see the difference of once I'm done milk bathing it, what it's gonna look like versus what it looks like before I cover it up. And it was so easy. So all I did was cut these foils up as small as I could, which I will admit was a little bit hard because it like static cleans to everything it touches. But I took like my little makeup cutting scissors that you get in those little makeup tool kits or eyelash kits, and I just use those because they work the best to kind of just chop it up real fast, and that's what I did. So I could do this because it was one big sheet. So now what I'm doing is I'm kind of letting the number 1 dry and absorb in those layers of foil and mylar flakes that I just added to my nail, so it doesn't like spread out when I start doing the milk bath part, because you can see where one did get away from me right here, but I mean that's okay. It's like a opal-y nail. It's not supposed to be perfect, right? It's supposed to have beautiful flaws. So while I'm waiting, I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of press down, make sure everything is laying flat, and it looks like it is. And I think we're getting close to ready to be able to go ahead and apply the next step. So this isn't like a traditional milk bath nail. Usually like with a milk bath nail, this is a very poor example on this swatch stick, but you can see over here how it has like that milky overlay look. This was my first attempt at the opal milk bath. It was not very good. And I didn't really like the white as much as I thought it would, which is why I did the blue. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and we are going to get started on the milk bath part of itself, or we'll just call it nail art, because I know somebody's gonna be like, that's not a real milk bath nail, and I'm gonna be like, I know. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and take the number 1, but I'm gonna have my clear ready. So I'm gonna paint my number 1, and then I'm gonna take my little nail art brush here, and I'm gonna put clear over the top of the design I just did to kind of protect it. And then I'm gonna cover the rest of the nail with the saltwater taffy. And I'm gonna do that 2 times. So the less clear you use and the more saltwater taffy you use, or whatever color, that's how you're gonna get more of the milk bath look. In my case, I'm just kind of going with wherever the powder lands, because I'm not really too picky about it being like an exact milk bath. So I'm just going really slow right at the cuticle line here, because I really want to make sure that I'm going to cover it exactly how I want. And now we're going to go ahead and take that clear, like I just told you, and just cover the opal-y part of it. And now I'm gonna go ahead and take the scoop part of my cuticle pusher that I used to push the cuticles back with, and just kind of dump the rest of the powder on and cover up. Oh man, I didn't mean to do that. Oh well, luckily it was clear. Now I'm gonna wait just for 1 second, kind of let it absorb before I dust that excess off. My sister just walked in the room and she's standing over me, and it makes me nervous. Does anybody else ever feel like that when somebody walks in on
You have
them?
like 500 people watching you
It's
right now.
different when somebody's hovering over you. Oh man, so now I'm gonna go ahead. It's absorbed in quite a bit, enough. Why are you leaving me?
You just made me feel bad.
I didn't mean to, I'm sorry. I was just teasing you. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe that excess powder off on the paper towel. And then I'm just gonna run along the edge here to make sure it's nice and clean. So you guys can see, like, now I'm starting to get that encapsulated look that I'm going for. So now we're gonna do it one more time. And once we buff it out, you guys will see, like, it's gonna look perfect. So this part here is when you could like really choose to do like a whole dip of clear if you have the perfect milk bath look, or if you want to do what I'm gonna do and just kind of play with it and keep like doing the ombre-ish method. It's not really an ombre method, but you kind of tap in the brush like an ombre style. And then I actually just go ahead and dip right into the jar because I am using clear, so I don't really care too much if it gets into the other color. And then I just run right along the edge here. So now it looks like it's completely covered up, but you're gonna see it's gonna reveal itself. Especially when we go to start buffing it out, it's gonna start popping and looking shiny like this one over here. And that's it. Now we're gonna go with our number 2 and proceed as normal from there. The blue color is ICU. This is actually very easy. The opal nail is so easy. Like, I thought it would have been much harder than it was, and I promise you it was literally one of the easiest nail arts I've done, but it's like one of the fancier looking ones I've done. So now I'm just applying the number 2. I'm making sure it's soaking into my nails nice and good, because this is what is going to harden the powder and make it adhere to your nails and kind of cure it all together. And then I cover, you know, I tap the edge of my nails there because I really want to make sure that they're gonna stay intact for the next 2 weeks at least. So now I have about a minute to wait, so I'm gonna go ahead and look at your questions now. Oh, actually, where'd you guys go for dinner?
Bacon lobster.
You did? Oh, that place is so good. My sister and my parents just got back from dinner, so I have been crashing with them through COVID and all this other stuff. All right, ladies. Thank you, thank you. Anna says, any tips on how to not make number 2 burn? So number 2 itself doesn't burn, but what happens is if you are applying too much number 2 and then you're going to apply your number 3, they're reacting together, so it can kind of create that sensation. So it's super important that you're not over applying your number 2. No, Michelle, they didn't bring me any food back, but my husband is amazing and he cooked me a quick little dinner before live. That's why I was like 2 minutes late. I was like trying to stuff it all down my face really fast. So if you are applying your number 3 and your brush is getting hard, that is because you are applying it too soon after number 2. Or you're simply going too slow, allowing too much nail to brush contact. And what does that mean is that your number 2 is your curing agent of your whole Peppi system. So if you're using your shine bottle after what is supposed to cure it, you have to be very careful on how you do that, because that's essentially what is hardening your brush. It's curing on your brush instead of on your nail, because you're not moving quick enough or wiping the brush, or you applied too much number 2. So the balance ratio has to be exact, but I am going to go over all of that here in a few minutes, because guess what? I have to put shiny on my nails too. So now I am going to pull out the good old drill, and I don't do too much drilling. You guys saw, like, my nails came out nice and thin. They're all even, so I'm not really gonna do a whole lot. Uh-oh. Did I hit it? There we go. I must have hit it. I was like, I didn't remember hitting it. All right, so I'm pulling out the drill. I like to use this, like, little bit here. It doesn't have a number on it, I don't think, no. I like to use this one here and just kind of go smooth over on my nails, nice, real quick. I go nice and light, and the drill is at a very low speed. So I just kind of go right over it. You don't have to have a drill if you're new to Peppi. If you are working with the heavier glitters though, I do recommend it because it makes this process a little bit easier and faster. But I actually prefer, as a personal preference, to use both a drill and a buffer. I like the finish of a buffer a lot more than I do just the drill. To me, it's smoother and shinier in the end. So I go really light. Your drill doesn't need to be at a high speed, and you don't need to put a lot of pressure. You just go nice and light and smooth it all over. So this one needs a little extra love because we have that nail art underneath. So I just kind of want to make sure that I'm smoothing that all down appropriately. Oops, sorry, I wasn't in the frame. So there's no like lumps or anything because of the glitter or the foil. And you can see I really didn't need to do too much. It's starting to come out nice. So again, just a nice quick little smooth over, and then I'm gonna use the buffer to finish it out because that's what I prefer. And that's a personal preference. You can use just a drill, you can use just a buffer, or you can use both. It doesn't really matter. Or if your dips are just that perfect, you can skip it. I probably could have gotten away with skipping it, but it doesn't feel right if I do. I feel like I'm missing like a lot of steps. So now I'm gonna go over here and do my pointer. Caitlin, are you on the live?
Yeah, just
Can you read in comments for me? Or questions?
Elizabeth asked, how long does it take you to complete a full Peppi cure?
So for me, I'm the worst person to ask because I really, like I said earlier, I have a problem with inspecting every nail after I dip it, so it takes me that much longer. But honestly, if I'm trying to be really quick, I can do everything in an hour. And that's quick without rushing it quick. If I'm rushing it, then I can definitely do it in like 30 to 45 minutes.
Mary Ann, the drill we're using is a bell drill. Right, that's what it's called.
Yeah. So if you guys are looking for the drills that we use, again, you can find that information in the Facebook group under the units tab. Just scroll down and you'll see a list of like Amazon items that we use that you can literally look at exactly what we use to complete our manicures. So now I'm gonna go ahead and take a buffer and I'm just gonna go ahead and smooth it all over. I always keep the purple side of the buffer towards the cuticle because I don't want to scratch my cuticle up with that sandpaper basically that's on the buffer.
Aaron asked, have your nails always been that long and healthy?
No, they were not. Before Peppi was ever even thought of, I was a severe nail biter.
Yeah.
My nails were super short. I don't even know how I have nail beds now because I literally bit my nails like all the way, I feel like up to here. I've seen pictures, like they were horrible. They were in really rough shape back in the day. Whew. Glad they're not now though.
Brooke asked if there's any new colors coming.
New colors, yeah, of course. We've got something up our sleeve. I love it. That's how, like, you can see this is after the drill over here. And it's pretty smooth for the most part. You can, you know, go on and finish your pedicure. But if you look over here, like at where the buffer was, it's a lot smoother and nicer. And that's why I love it.
Will you start doing 12.99 Tuesdays again?
We are. We're going to start those back up probably in the next couple weeks. We are almost caught up with all of the shipping. So that is a priority. So I would say 2 weeks. That way we get caught up, we stay ahead, and then we can, you know, bring it back. That's the priority.
People are asking what the tweezers you were using.
Oh gosh, I don't know. They're my mom's, but they're just like little thin nail art tweezers.
What
Probably
brand is it?
Lindo. Yeah, you can probably get it on Amazon.
Yeah, probably.
All right, so after I buff my nails, I go ahead and wipe all that powder off. So again, remember before live, I told you guys I filed and shaped my nails. Well, after you apply your powder, you can see where the nail, like the powder just kind of hangs over the edge right there. So I always go ahead and I do a touch-up shaping before I move on to the next step, which would be the shine. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and just kind of do my touch-up. I go right along the sidewalls here just to make sure there's no product hanging off. Make sure my shape is where I want it. and I go around the cuticle. Our banana files on our website are so perfect for this step because they glide and groove like right at the cuticle line, which is really nice. So I highly recommend the banana files. If they're not in stock, they will be in stock soon. My brain's a little tired, so I can't remember everything right now.
Yeah, those are like surgical tweezers,
Kind of, yeah. And then we're just gonna go right around the cuticle. Just really making sure we're cleaning up our shape. And now remember, like, I plan on wearing these nails for at least 2 weeks because Megan and I rotate lives, which means it'll be 2 weeks before my next live. So I have to go for long wear, and I really want to make sure that I'm going to be happy having these on for that extended period of time.
Everyone's saying they love the banana files.
Oh my gosh, yeah, the banana files are a game changer for cleaning everything up. I wish I had some handy
Yeah, I don't know why they don't have any.
because I always forget to say I need banana files. It's okay. Alright, so now you can see everything's cleaning up really nice. You don't have to spend a lot of time on this part because you've already filed and shaped your nails in the beginning. That you're just really here to clean them up and just making sure nothing is poking out funny. Alright, so let me do my check. Again, contrasting background really helps. I see one flaw that I want to fix really fast on my accent finger. Here we go. There we go, perfect. So I'm really loving how everything is turning out. So now I'm gonna go ahead and get on to the shine. Oh no, we lost some viewers. That's okay, you guys have more of a chance of winning now. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and apply the number 2. This part is super important that you do not over apply the number 2. You want just enough. Sorry, I don't like that grit there that comes from filing. You want just enough of your number 2 to kind of kiss the nails, like just enough to touch it, but soak in 2 minutes. You do not want to go heavy on this part. If you go too heavy, your number 3, which is your shine coat, is not going to cure properly, and also you're more than likely going to contaminate your brush, which means like a hard brush basically, and that eventually ruins your bottle. So really light on the number 2, just enough to cover the nails, but you do not need to saturate them. And you guys can see, I love it when you do like glitter or nail art and you put the number 2 on and it just reveals itself really fast. Ah, so cute. All right, so now I'm going in with my number 2. I got it on all of my nails, just the right amount, and now we're gonna wait 2 minutes exactly before we move on to the next step. Erin, thanks for tuning in with us every week. We love it, girl. Yeah, this part, the number 3 is the hardest part because the ratio has to be correct. If it's not correct, you're gonna struggle, which is why we do these tutorials. Like, it's written in your starter kit directions. We talk about it in the group all the time. Like, you really have to trust the process and be patient with it to get the best results. So just remember, Peppi Gel is an investment into yourself. So if you're getting the starter kit or have the starter kit, like, really take the time to get to know it so you can enjoy it for a long time to come. So I have about another 1.5 minutes before I am going to apply my number 3, which is our shine coat. So we're just gonna kind of hang out. I'll show you guys up close. This is what they look like right now. You can see all that prep and cuticle work we did really gave me some nice cuticle lines. My opal is kind of showing through. I think it's not quite as opal-y as it's going for. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. I think I could have applied a few more mylar flakes on this one, but that's okay. I still really love the design. So at about a minute through, I like to take a paper towel and wipe all that number 2 residue off my nails. This is very important. Kind of move around on the paper towel so you're not wiping in the same spot. But it's very important because you don't want that residue again to carry over into your shine brush. So I wiped on this side of the paper towel. I'm going to flip the paper towel over and start with a fresh clean slate over here for when I apply my number 3. So we have, I think it's been 2 minutes actually.
I don't think it has yet. That was really fast, 2 minutes.
No, because it was 9:33 and now it's 9:35. Wait, is it really 9:35?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I've been talking to you guys for an hour?
Yeah.
Man, I talk a lot.
When we got in the truck from dinner, you were just starting to like do your actual nails because I guess you did prep first.
I did. Sorry you guys, didn't realize I was talking so much today. But I hope you guys are really enjoying the tips. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and take my number 3. The same method with my number 1 is I'm going to pull my brush out at a slant using that inside wiper to pull all that excess liquid off. Otherwise, you're going to just glob it on and then it's going to ruin all that pretty work that you just did. You do not want to get any product residue on the bottle neck or rim because you will end up gluing your bottle shut. When you do your number 3, you want to do 2 to 3 very quick strokes. If you go too slow, you're allowing too much nail to brush contact, which is why your brush gets hard because that number 2 is absorbing into your brush. So 2 to 3 quick strokes because this is the barrier layer before your final shine coat. You wipe the brush on a different spot of the paper towel every time before you dip your brush back into the bottle to prevent product contamination. And when you're doing your 2 to 3 quick strokes on that first layer of shine, do not overlap them or try your hardest not to so you can get optimal shine in the end. If you overlap them, all you're doing is smearing around that number 2. And it's not gonna have the best shine in the end. My bottle is low, so I have to shake it up every time. All right, and then after you do your first coat of 2 to 3 quick strokes, you're gonna go ahead and do your second and final coat of number 3, and voila. That's how you get the perfect shine.
So shiny.
Dang, they are popping right now. Holy moly. I love it. I love it. Ugh. You guys, I have an obsession with my own nails. I think everybody else has an obsession with theirs too, I hope. Alright, ladies. If you get bubbles sometimes, it's because there's too much number 2 on your nails. So you really, again, like I cannot say it enough, like the balance has to be correct. If it's not correct, your end result is not going to be what you want it to be. So just re-watch our tutorials, read the statements that we write, like really pay attention to it because it's easy to do your nails while watching TV and get distracted. And then you're like, why are my nails not shiny? Or why are they lumpy? Or why are my bottles glued shut? Like you really have to just pay attention because it's so easy to make a mistake. But it's okay because we all do it. I've made plenty of mistakes.
I still do it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I still do too. So I hope you guys love this. We do have a giveaway. We are going to give away the ICU color this evening. So how do we want to do it?
I don't know. I just got here.
Whatever. You've been here for like half the live.
No.
Alright. If somebody could tell me I'm going to do a similar question as I did a couple weeks ago because, well, no, because that's not fair. Everybody doesn't know. Okay. If somebody... I don't know. This is always the hardest part. Thanks, everybody. Can you guys rate me from 1 to 10? I want to know how I did. This is me buying time from figuring out how to do a giveaway. And if I got less than whatever number, it just helps me so I can know what to do to improve next time. I rely on you guys to tell me. Okay, shoot, I don't know. Oh, Becky, thanks, girl. Yeah, Cheryl Allen, yes. Sold out colors are coming back. Thank you, Ashley. I try really hard because honestly, like if I just jump onto a live and I don't like give you details, you're never gonna learn. You're only like seeing visuals of what I'm doing, but if you don't hear me talk about it, like you wouldn't know like a lot of the things that are super important in application. Oh, one other thing that I really like to do after all my after I apply my Peppi cure is I like to do a sugar or salt scrub, and then I like to rub my hands in Vaseline, and that's how I keep like my skincare really nice and my cuticles really nice. And I do Vaseline every day, and so many people ask me that, and I always forget to tell you guys, so I just wanted to tell you really fast. All right, help me figure out this giveaway. I don't know.
What was the how many views or whatever? Just
We went to almost 700. Yeah.
Everyone says you did 10, so that's good.
Oh, I got 10. Don't tell me a 10. You're gonna make my head get too big. Give me like a 7, so I have to work harder. Okay, so
Do you want to do like trivia or?
I wanted to do a trivia.
Well, a trivia about Peppi, about you.
No, I
they
don't like trivia
really,
about me.
They don't really know you that well. So.
Yeah, I don't want to do trivia about me. One, I don't like to tell a lot about myself, and two, I'm kind of boring anyways. How many people are gonna sign off because I'm just delaying this for so long? I'm so terrible. Okay. Because I can't think of another question, this is what I'm going with. The first person that can tell me what 2 colors were in last August mystery box is going to win the ICU. So hopefully you've been studying Peppi for a while because it is literally the only question I can think of right now, and I'm sorry. Brooke says my nails aren't boring. Thank you. Yeah, Cheryl Allen, I do a sugar scrub and then I do Vaseline. No gloves. I just rub it in like lotion. I mean, I don't put like a glob of Vaseline on my hands. I do like a little bit, enough to cover and soak in nice. Nope, it wasn't saltwater taffy. Nope, last August. Last August. Some of you guys are naming ones from this year. You guys are close. It wasn't saltwater taffy in Aloha Beaches. It was the month after that. Who's gonna get it? I'm watching. And by the way, ladies, I'm going off of comments on my end, which may show differently on your end.
Yeah, mine are coming up slower than yours.
Yeah. Who knows? Oh man, we have so many new people on. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do?
I don't think they know.
No, somebody's gonna know. I can't go back on my question. It wasn't, nope, not your, Brooke got it. Brooke Shoemaker got it. Pink leg warmers and ballistic blue. So I promise what I'm gonna do before the next live is I'm gonna have a whole list of ways to do the giveaway. So it's gonna be fair. Brooke, make sure you email me at peppijo@gmail.com and I will hook you up with your freebie color girl. And everybody else, like, look how amazing these are. I forgot to tell you guys they were dry a long time ago, but I will post a picture tomorrow after I sugar scrub, Vaseline up, and they look nice. I hope you guys enjoyed the live. Good night.